PodQuest.
I don't want to retread territory, so I think everything we said up to this point is getting cut, and
That's fine.
So
that's what I assumed was happening.
But we can still pretend because we've been talking about they made another one, so we can start this episode off by saying, so Corey, you've seen Poison Ivy 2, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you did they made another one on that one. Is that correct?
We did. Yeah, that's absolutely correct. It was I wish I actually had the date in front of me of when that one was, because it's been a while.
It has. It was around the time because we talked about it when I did not Halloween. Was it Halloween 6 or was it American Reunion?
It was
one of the two.
It was probably Halloween 6.
It was around then.
I think so. Poison Ivy 2 Lily for the uninitiated is what that movie is called.
The ones uninitiated to the Secret Society or whatever the fourth movie is called.
It is absolutely called the Secret Society. You're so right. Poison Ivy 2, by the way, stars Alyssa Milano.
Alyssa Milano and is it Xander Berkeley?
Yeah, absolutely it is. Did you know that off the top of your head?
Yeah, I've seen that movie.
That's crazy.
But I like
that movie is basically
I like Xander Berkeley.
What if that movie's basically what if you went to art school and then hooked up with your go ahead. Fuck, I'm trying to remember the name of a movie that I was just gonna use another movie's name to describe this movie.
What if you go to art school and Poison
can't.
Ivy happens?
No, but what if you went to art school and single white female happened?
There you go. Have you seen the original Poison Ivy?
What do you think?
I think the answer is yes.
The answer is absolutely no.
Okay, all right.
Sorry to Drew Barrymore.
Starring Drew Barrymore and Sarah Gilbert and Tom Skerritt. I saw that movie a long, long time ago, and I don't remember it being particularly sexy.
I mean, it was in the erotic thriller section of the Criterion Channel.
Sure.
So
okay. Well, I guess I don't think that
some element of it must be sexy to someone.
I remember it being kind of one of those like The Crush or inspired by Lolita kind of deals, which is already right. But not being like a sex movie. You know what I mean?
More of an erotic movie.
Sure. And then I think
a thrilling erotic movie.
Poison Ivy 2 stepped it up a little bit, quite a bit of I don't think there's any nudity in the original one, for instance, which is probably good because I'm not sure how old the characters are in that one, but they're certainly not college students.
Right.
Poison Ivy 2 definitely had some nudity in it, it steps things up. And then along comes a little movie called Poison Ivy 3 that was like, let's crank this shit up to 11, motherfuckers. Jesus Christ.
I mean, only sort of.
Only sort of? I mean...
Really, it's only just okay, what if we just filled some of the time of this movie with more sex?
Right.
Then,
yeah.
Really, I have never thought that the people that say that sex scenes in movies are padding runtimes and don't need to be there. I've never agreed with that.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe they're onto something. No, that's fine. That's my funny joke.
Maybe with this one they were onto something.
Yeah, you know who else was onto something before we get too carried away?
Yeah, actually I do. We have a voice.
The Coca-Cola Corporation.
We have a voice message to play also. Let's do the Coke thing first.
We have too much shit to do at the beginning of this episode.
Okay.
So,
it's a busy one.
In the past,
sure,
I have joked about gamer drinks.
Yeah, man.
Just conceptually, being a thing.
I mean, gamer drinks exist. We've seen. I mean,
yeah.
Peach Rings,
is Prime a gamer drink?
I don't think so. I think it's just.
Or is that like Gatorade for Jake Paul fans?
Yeah, I think it's like a quote unquote healthy energy drink, but it's not.
So this is Coca-Cola Creations Ultimate Limited Edition. It is XP flavored.
XP flavored.
Brought to you by the good folks at League of Legends.
League of Legends. Corey.
Yeah?
Question.
Uh-huh.
What's League of Legends?
Oh, fuck me, dude. I've played a little bit of it, but not nearly enough to answer that question.
I've played none of it. I couldn't I hear it talked about all the time.
I feel like watch Worlds usually when it's on, but I don't really know what's happening. I have a roommate who knows a lot more about League than I do, but I don't think he's home. Otherwise, I would just go get him. and see if he can help us. But League of Legends is a MOBA.
Okay, see, I do know what MOBAs are. All right.
Do you know what Dota is?
Yes.
League of Legends is Dota. And people are going to get mad at me for saying that. But conceptually, they're the same game.
But wasn't Dota like created like inside Warcraft 3?
Yeah, so
like
what I should
Warcraft
say
3 custom
is
maps.
League of Legends is like Dota 2.
Okay. All right, there you go.
All
right.
It is a MOBA, and there's 8 billion champions in it, and you pick your character, and you have to go destroy. Well, the end goal is like there's like this like nexus at the other team's base, and you have to destroy that.
Gotcha.
The map is formatted into 3 different lanes.
Yes. Okay. It's all coming back to me.
Yeah, there's like little tiny NPC bad guys you can kill for points.
But then there's also like a team, like
and then there's an
your
opposing
team versus
team.
another team.
Yeah, it's
okay.
a 5v5 game because you'll
Gotcha.
have. Let me see if I can remember all the roles in League of Legends. Because you'll have somebody for top, middle, and bottom lane, and then you'll have an ADC, and I don't even remember what that means. I just know that that's one of the roles. And there's some 5th thing. Hang on, League of Legends
Top,
roles.
middle, bottom. Speaking of poison ivy,
Which one am I? Support. I forgot the most obvious one. The healer.
Sure.
Those are
yeah,
the 5.
that seems important.
And also, I think ADC is interchangeable with jungler. I believe that is correct because jungler is a much more fun thing to say.
That is more fun to say. You're correct.
No, the ADC appears to be the support character, maybe. I'm stupid. Anyway, so my bottom line, what I'm going to say, my knowledge of League of Legends is a limited amount of time I spent playing with people who had been playing for years. And I follow some League of Legends related Twitter accounts out of, like, again, very casual interest. And usually, specifically when Worlds is on, like, I'm not going to go watch MSI, and I'm not going to go watch, like, the LCS, like, regional whatever the fuck tournament, or like the LEC whatever, or the like these are all just like different regional leagues, because like there's one for North America, there's one for Europe, there's one for Korea, there's one that's just in China, and then there's one that's like Oceania kind of region.
All right, so
I don't watch any of those, but what I will watch is when all of those have to play each other.
Gotcha. Okay, that's fun. Yeah, I feel like this is a thing that was maybe big on Tumblr for a while.
I don't know, because no one that I know that plays League of Legends would also have had a Tumblr account.
Okay.
So, I mean, you might be right, but I can't vouch for that at all.
Maybe I'm just thinking of like the fan art. I don't know, man. Okay, all right. Thanks
What
for
I
the
can say
the heads up. Yeah.
is that this claims to be XP flavored. Oh, good news! There's a QR code. Didn't even notice that. So before I drink this, it's now been out of my fridge for like 15 minutes. Before I drink this, I'm just gonna see.
So is mine. I've also got one in front of me. I want everybody to know that. All right. Yeah, scan the code. I don't think it's going to do anything for you. I think this is just on every Coke now.
Welcome to Coca-Cola Creations. Limited edition Coca-Cola Ultimate has entered the game. New mission available. Taste the Plus XP with the latest collab from Coca-Cola Creations in League of Legends. Ultimate missions with new emote rewards just dropped in League of Legends. Turn yourself into a League of Legends inspired emote. There's there's a bunch of stuff it's saying I could choose to launch. But all of it requires I like take a photo and stuff. I'm not doing any of that because this is an audio podcast.
Dude, but we can get they still got the Rosalina information on here. Remember the Rosalina collab?
Rosalia, but yeah, I do. And it was grotesque.
I'm talking about I'm talking about the Mario character.
Yeah, right. Can I say one weird thing about the presentation of this Coke bottle?
Apologies to Rosalia for mispronouncing your name.
The League of Legends Coke bottle. It's got like an ornate like gold and black approach.
Right, which
is
you
fine because it's League of Legends colors, but then the cap is red.
Well, Coca-Cola. Here's my issue with the label. It makes you think it's caffeine-free Coke Zero because it's using the gold from the caffeine-free line and the black from the zero line.
Is that why maybe they did the red cap?
That might be why they did the red cap.
The red cap looks stupid to me because it doesn't look like it goes with the label. Like it looks like they did it by accident. This is going to be the
Right, I
longest
mean-
podcast on Earth.
It doesn't have to be. You want to crack these bad boys and level up?
Time to get plus XP gamers. It does specifically say plus XP flavored, by the way. So is this the
Sure.
flavor of killing?
This is the flavor of just getting stronger, I think.
Wow, there's a really strong smell right off the top.
Whoa. Yeah.
What? But it doesn't smell like anything. It's just a lot of a smell.
It's just an odor.
Dude,
It
all of
doesn't know-
these
it smells
smell
like,
the
it
same.
smells like something. I think that they
all
do.
of these
They are
fucking
all
smell
so
the same.
fucking similar.
Because it's just like some weird fruit introduction.
This smells like a fruit roll-up that they soaked in a Coca-Cola.
It does smell. Yeah, I'm not going to top that, I don't think.
No, I think that's what it is.
But, like, what does that have to do with this?
I don't know, man.
The ingredients list doesn't even give you an implication of what it might be flavored as.
Do you want to Google it first?
Google what it's supposed to taste like?
Creation. Yeah.
No, I want to taste it first.
XP.
Can I drink it while you Google that?
Yeah, but bottoms up. Let's both hit it now.
What? What is that?
This doesn't even taste like. This doesn't even have like the Coca-Cola flavor. in
It's
it.
like vague. It's fruit, right? It's
fruit.
It's a fruity.
It is like fucking fruit roll-up, Gushers, fruit by the foot, just generic fruit flavor. That's what it tastes like to me. And I have had Gushers recently because they sell them in like a giant bag at 7-Eleven.
Yeah,
And
this is like Scooby Snacks core. This is like fruit roll up core for sure.
I will say I like it.
It's fine. It's fine in the way they all are fine.
I think that this one's better than the ones we've had recently.
It's better than the Rosalia one because the Rosalia one was like syrupy, more
Yeah.
so than this.
I think a lot of
The
a lot of
marshmallow
the
one
Creations
was
ones-
bad.
right, and didn't taste like marshmallow.
The space one was weird. It wasn't that bad, but we didn't
The
get to
exis-
drink the
the-
other gamer one.
The existentialism one.
Oh, so really quick,
was
I'm just gonna read
confusing.
I'm gonna read the ingredients here. It's gonna take me 2 seconds, so don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Carbonated water, sugar / glucose fructose, caramel color, phosphoric acid, natural flavor, caffeine. They don't even imply what it could be on the label.
MF said glucose.
Glucose, fucose.
All right. According to tomsguide.com,
The electronics review website.
yeah, I think so.
Okay, great. The internet's doing great, everybody. Tom's
There is
guide
an embedded,
is rating
like-
Coca-Cola articles. Everything is fucking fine.
Here's the accompanying articles for this. Galaxy S24 Ultra just tipped for this big camera upgrade. Google Pixel 8 could double as your desktop PC. The ROG Zephyrus G14 superb screen, blah, 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 blah. There is a Best Buy ad in the background.
Oh, I guess it's Gamer Coke, so that's why they did it.
It's one of those flavors that might adapt based on what you think it tastes like. At first, I tasted grenadine syrup as though I was sipping on a Shirley Temple. I didn't get that because he's just describing cherry Coke.
Wait, what
at
did he
that
say?
point. Grenadine syrup.
What is that?
It's like he says it as though I was sipping on a Shirley Temple. Grenadine is just like that sweetened kind of cherry mixer they do like to make like fountain cherry Cokes as opposed to like pre-bottled ones. Pretty sure that's what grenadine is.
I guess it's like very vaguely cherry.
Yeah. And someone says bubble gum, and then he tasted bubble gum, and then did you know bubble gum is made from artificial fruit flavors? I sure didn't. Well, come on, get with the times, dumbass. Someone else said banana Laffy Taffy.
Nope. What the fuck?
Which Tom's guide concluded is the best way to describe Coca-Cola Ultimate's taste.
What?
I hardcore disagree with that.
Banana?
Not even like artificial banana, but not even close.
Not even close, dude.
This is just
I
like,
take
you know what this is?
extreme issue with that, actually.
Yeah, this is just wrong. Sorry, Kate Kozuch, you're wrong.
More like Tom lied. LMAO.
Just leave her alone on Twitter, everyone.
I'm
Come
sorry.
on.
I just went on to the internet and I am getting advertisement. Okay, sorry. I need to derail us for a quick second. I just got an advertisement for. So this costs $3,627.98 each.
Okay.
depending on how many you need to buy.
Is it a Coca-Cola Pixel flavor?
No, not at all. It is a prison toilet/sink combination unit.
Bro.
33 3/4 by 18 by 36.5 inches. 0.5 GPM
Wow.
stainless steel. Why am I being advertised prison toilets on the internet
I
to
don't know.
buy?
I don't know, man. But that'll save some space if you've got like a small bathroom, honestly.
It's nearly $4,000.
Yeah, but stainless steel. You're getting a sink and a toilet, so like your vanity is covered.
So why
right?
does this website have a fucking entire section that's called penal system combination toilet and sink units?
It's because the algorithm knows you watched
What
Poison
the
Ivy illegally
fuck?
yesterday.
And it wants me to go to super jail? Media relations? I would love to get in touch with your media relations department and ask how the fuck I saw this.
Super Jail, like the show?
Is that a show?
It was an Adult Swim show, yeah,
Oh, I don't know.
about a super jail.
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
Anyway, sorry. But-
This Coke's pretty good. I'm gonna drink this one. I'm gonna drink all of this one, I think.
I probably won't, but that's because I actually have regular Coke in my fridge as well. And if I'm going to have any Coke today, I kind of would rather it be that.
You know what I'm getting? You know what I'm getting from this? It's like Airheads.
Maybe.
Like
I don't know.
just like generic Airhead flavor. You know how they all kind of taste the same? Like there's differences obviously, but like the baseline is the same.
These are... When we started doing this, and I started doing this in particular, I guess, because I've really kind of made it my whole thing.
Sure.
It was so much more like fun.
Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah.
And also like uncertain. But you have enough of
Right.
these specialty drinks over several years. And what you realize is
It's all the same.
they're all basically the same fucking drink.
Yeah. Especially this specific creations line, right?
Yeah, like...
And my issue is,
Yeah.
why are they spending money doing this shit and took my beloved Coca-Cola Zero Sugar Cherry Energy off the shelves?
I was at a store the other day, and I found both of the varieties of the coffee drink again.
Oh boy. I had one of those recently and it made me sick.
Which one?
It was Zero Sugar Mocha, I think.
There's like the dark one, and then there's like the vanilla one.
Yeah, maybe it was a dark one. Maybe they don't have a mocha. Maybe that was a different beverage.
Because we've got both still up here, apparently. I thought one of those
Yeah.
had been canceled, like Lance Armstrong said. And I know that's
find
not in
them-
the episode, but if you keep it in anyway, it will be funny.
I'm gonna leave it in this part, not the other part.
Yeah.
They pop up here on occasion. That's still on the shelves, but I think it's just the remainder of the ones that didn't sell. But for the fuck's
Still?
sake, Coca-Cola, give me my energy drink back. I haven't been the same since it's left the market.
That's why we're winding down the show, actually.
It kind of is. I'm sort of out of. I mean, we started.
out of
I'm pretty
energy.
sure I mentioned the Zero Sugar Cherry Coca-Cola on like episode 0 or 1. Like that's how far back this goes for us. Also, somewhere in those early episodes is when Poison Ivy first came up. Might have been the very first episode. Also,
It's entirely possible.
all right, Corey. Let's get into. We've got a voice message. From our friend Danny.
Which
I
one
think
of
he may
these
go-
is
you
this
know-
probably the one that's not 15 seconds?
Yeah, no, it is the one that's 15 seconds.
This is a message from Danny?
This is a message from Danny.
Oh.
This is in reference to something that happened on a previous episode that it was like only a couple ago. It might have been the Sabrina one.
Okay.
I'm not sure. But Daniel, of course, from the Next Issue podcast, go
Did
check
you
them out.
just call
on
him Damn
YouTube.
Daniel?
No, I started saying Danny again. And
Dan Daniel?
I was like, you know what? Like, we call him Danny, but I think he calls himself Daniel everywhere else. So
Dan Daniel back at it again with the comic book reviews.
let's just see what Damn Daniel had to say.
Okay.
Giraffe. Giraffe. Giraffe.
Wow, is this the whole clip?
Not draft. Giraffe.
Did he, Did he record that from inside a Sony Walkman?
Yeah, I think so. He was inside the giraffe pen at the
Giraffe.
local. All right, we're not getting into this again. You're still saying it wrong.
No one's ever corrected me until now, so I mean,
All right, but how many times are you saying the word giraffe? How often are you talking about the animal?
more than you'd think.
Yeah, when a conversation about a giraffe happens.
Yeah, exactly.
That clip was titled Team Neil.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
So
people have also tried to give me guff about the way I say bagel, and I don't care about that either. So
because it's not a bagel, it's a bagel.
well, don't spell the word bagel then, and I won't say it now.
They didn't spell the word bagel. The word bagel is spelled B-A-G-G-L-E.
That's not no. Wait, what's that word mean?
It's not a real word. That's how you would spell bagel if that's how you were supposed to say it.
I disagree.
All right. Okay. I mean, some people just like to be wrong about things, so like I'll let you have this.
No one's ever corrected me until well, actually, I started getting corrected about that in high school, but I just fought them then as well.
You stuck to your guns. Man, I think it's time to talk about Poison Ivy 3. Finally, right?
I'm actually
Poison Ivy.
Oh wait, hang on for a
Seduction.
second.
Okay.
I think I hear my mom calling me.
Uh-oh.
I think I might have to. You might have to just do that. I might have to go. I don't think I can talk about Poison Ivy 3, the new Seduction. 1 second. Yeah, look, dude. I don't know. I know. I'm getting called a lot.
Are you
right
just gonna
now.
fucking bail? You're just gonna bail on me? I gotta do this myself?
I mean,
All right.
she's calling.
Look, with
With all due respect.
all right. Look, I'm mandated to do this, as Corey, as I just kind of told you before we started recording. We do have a new producer on this podcast, like a behind the scenes one, you know.
Right. We do?
Yeah, Jamie Presley didn't see. She did listen to our episode on Death to the Supermodels, and she wasn't particularly happy, so she's decided to buy the podcast.
Did we try just showing the DOA one, like instead of offering up like the whole thing right away?
Like, that's the only reason that she didn't fire us as hosts, okay?
Okay.
Like, she was apparently like satisfied enough with how we discussed her role in Mortal Kombat Conquest, and you know, we heaped praise on Dead or Alive, and I think made her feel a little bit better about being in that movie, because I think she was kind of like, you know, she said she's glad it's found its audience, but you know, I think the difference is she was a producer on Death to the Supermodels, and so we were kind of like, she felt like we were attacking her character a little bit.
Right, but now she's like, I know what I'll produce next. This should fix it.
Right.
MK Podquest.
Well, she just wants to have final say over what we say about her career, is my understanding.
Was that episode like a lot bigger than I thought? Did it like get around?
Apparently.
Huh.
I don't know how to joke. If like, do I say yes or no? Because it's
Whatever you think's funnier.
okay.
So, but
like, it reached Hollywood. You know, I don't know if like Ben Meckler sent it to her directly.
how much did we
right?
get
Maybe
for
they
the
were talking
show?
on they might have been talking on the picket lines, and he just sort of like, hey, you got to hear this.
Right. How much did we
Right.
get for the show?
Well, basically, she said what she'll do is anytime there's a Coca-Cola Creations that hits the market, we'll be able to drink those for free. And she gets final cut as a result of that.
Okay.
It seemed like a good, I mean, you know, I feel weird about advertising, so I was like, look, I don't want to be like running ads and stuff, you know.
Were you being strong-armed?
It's Jamie Presley, right? What would you do if you were in my position?
Ask for more than the equivalent of like $4.
I just didn't want her to fire us as hosts, right?
We could start a new show. She doesn't
There
control
is-
the media.
She does own the name MK Podquest now,
Why did we do that?
but
But
she
but
says,
why?
all right, she's got a roadmap for the show.
We have to
all right?
start having way more thorough conversations about these kinds of things.
I know, but like, but she didn't want to drag you because, you know, international borders and things, right? Like, it just gets complicated, and like, we could just hash this out between the two of us.
Americans
So-
only.
So she owns the name MK Podquest, but what she said is,
And we gave that up
for
for Cokes.
mostly for Cokes.
Fuck.
Um,
Okay.
and good news. We're also going to get not every season of the show Mom, just the ones that she's in. We're going to get those for free. And she says that MK Podquest now stands for Mom Knowledge Podquest, and that the rest of the show is going to be deep dives into just the episodes of Mom that she was in.
How many episodes is that?
I'm unsure. It's around 40.
Okay.
I'll double check real
So
quick.
we can go for a while. So what about My Name is Earl?
It's on the table.
We have to negotiate for that?
There's 96. Well, I think My Name is Earl. She's a little more precious about that property.
Right, but yeah, like Mom, anybody can have Mom.
Okay, I am mistaken. No, you know what? I'm mistaken. I said 30 or 40. Turns out 127 episodes of Mom.
Look, I'm not saying it's not
Jamie
a lot of
Presley.
episodes of Mom, but I feel like we got taken for a bit of a ride.
Yeah, she's on it from season 2 through 8.
Uh-huh.
So that's we're basically just not covering season 1.
We're a mom cast now.
She also said, and I don't understand this, that we're not allowed to talk about Anna Faris, like ever.
That seems like a bit of a...
Yeah, that
I don't know how we're supposed to do that.
Right.
Neil, you do understand that like what we're being asked to do essentially is exclusively laud one person's like career, and in return for that, what we got was the ability to continue doing a show that we weren't doing until now, and the equivalent of like a $4 Coke. And that's because inflation is crazy. $3.69 for a Coke is outrageous. But
right for now, but there will be other Cokes in the future, right? And we might be able to get that Coca-Cola Bite, that pixel flavored one. You know how that was like $17 or something,
right?
Right. We might get that out of this. Now I know it sounds like I wasn't showing up for us, and like at least we get to call the show MK Podquest. Yeah, now it stands for Mom Knowledge Podquest, but. And she owns the name, too.
She does own the name. The very valuable brand.
But, like, her original, she's like, first thing she came to me with, like, we're going to rename the show to the JK Podquest.
And then you were like, haha, just kidding.
I was like, I was just kidding. She's like, no, it stands for Jill Kendall, my character in Mom. And I was like, yeah, I really feel strongly about the name MK Podquest, a name that our listeners get wrong in emails to us almost constantly.
Right.
The number of people who have called it like Mortal Podquest is almost unbelievable.
It's high.
It's a lot. It happens fairly often. And I'm not going to call the people out by name who specifically have done that, but you all know who you are.
And so she still wanted this episode to happen, though?
This was the other deal I made. I was like, listen, can we talk about one of your earliest roles? And
introducing Jamie Presley, etc.
Yeah, I started to say the title, and she just cut me off, and she's like, yes, anything about my career you can talk. And I was like, okay. Because I started
mostly Mom.
I started with P, right, as in Poison Ivy, and she thought I was saying pre-teen American girl from Mercenary, which was her actual first role.
Uh-huh.
So that must be some work she's really proud of because that's where she got her start, right? So she just assumed I was talking about that and said yes. She is also going to want us to do the one episode of Silk Stalkings she was in as Cara Delaney. And then we will also have to talk about the Mortal Kombat Conquest episodes that just the ones that she was in again.
Right.
And I was like, well, can we talk about Can't Hardly Wait? You were in that. And she was like, no. And I said, well, can we talk about Not Another Teen Movie? And she said, maybe. So, like, some of this stuff is still being negotiated, right? But primarily she wants us to focus on Mom.
And then I guess we should relish this opportunity.
Yeah. Look, I worked hard to allow us to be able to do this episode. So, you're welcome, everybody.
We should be grateful.
Yeah, I think the bit's over. Might have been over 7 or 8 minutes ago. Do you want to get into this thing now?
No, but okay.
Do you want to give us a Corey Corner?
No, but okay.
What if I hit the fast Corey Corner button and you can just rip through it real quick?
Oh, I will be.
All right.
Oh, we didn't clap.
We're fine.
It's been 39 minutes and we didn't clap.
You want to clap now? I mean, honestly, the clap can be anywhere.
The good news is that because I have Time.is open, we can briefly talk about the fact that today is Day of the Seafarer, which is
holy shit,
which is
sure is
very funny in the context of a lot of things that have happened recently.
Hey, Jamie Presley was kind of a seafarer at the beginning of Dead or Alive, right?
You're so right.
Yeah.
Do you want to clap at 15?
Yeah.
Finally, we know. We know.
Well, that's staying in the episode.
Oh, 100% it is. That's why I did it.
All right. You want to go over to the fast Corey corner?
Yeah. So
Go.
I think this movie retcons a bit of the first movie
Likely, yeah.
because they sure had to cast a kid that looked like Drew Barrymore, but isn't Drew Barrymore. So I had to get some of this information straight from Wikipedia because the movie doesn't really communicate it 100%. Or at least I didn't notice. That's probably more of a judgment on me than it is the movie, just to be clear, but that's fine.
Let's be clear. The connections to that first movie have no bearing on this one itself at all.
They have more of a bearing than the second movie has anything to do with the first movie.
Yeah.
By a lot.
Sure, but you could tell this story without any of that being necessary.
Oh,
Anyway,
yeah.
That's more what I was saying.
So a bunch of people live in a big fancy house with a pool. They include two parents,
Mom and Dad,
and a daughter named Joy, and then a housekeeper who's young and hot, and the housekeeper's two kids who are Ivy, the titular Poison Ivy, and Violet, and they're all just sort of hanging out until one day when they're all hanging out, the dad and the housekeeper just could not refrain from hooking up. No, let me retread this a little bit. So, because this opening's very convoluted.
It is, because it tries to like throw you off, right?
It tries to throw you off because the housekeeper starts hooking up with the pool boy.
Yeah.
And you're like, that's weird. And then the dad gets home and is like, I need you to stop hooking up with the pool boy. And then there's like a punch and there's all these things. And then in attempting to fix that, they end up having an argument about their relationship, which tips off the mother to the fact that the dad is also hooking up with the housekeeper.
Right. Yes.
They don't even do anything sexual. They're just arguing.
Right.
And then you're like, oh, my wife was home. I didn't know that when I started arguing with the person I was having an affair with.
Loudly in the kitchen with the doors open.
Yeah.
Or after getting punched by the pool boy.
Yeah. And so the housekeeper and her two kids are sent away. And then in the interim, all of the events of the film Poison Ivy would happen somewhere else to other people.
Presumably also the events of Poison Ivy too, but
who could say?
Unrelated.
And so cut to 1996. Violet is now Jamie Presley.
Sure.
She
talk about a glow up. Am I right?
She goes back to this house with this family there. Starts reconnecting.
Mm-hmm.
Joy is like, you can stay with us, and everybody's like, okay, maybe that's not a great idea, but sure. Joy is like, I'm going to school. I'm a waiter or whatever, and there's a party. And Violet doesn't get to hang out with Joy's rich Ivy League friends. Joy's entire goal right now is win a Division I tennis tournament and start going to Yale, where a friend of the show, Greg Vaughn, goes to school. And then this is where it starts getting a little bit...
His friends call him Cabral.
His friends do call him that, which is crazy. So... basically right after arriving at this house, like the sex hijinks start like right away.
Immediately.
Violet has with her like a full leather, like BDSM adjacent fit. We don't know where it's from. It doesn't really matter. And
yeah, I mean, they do address that she works as a dominatrix. And she just hasn't told anybody.
Well, yeah, but like when she pulls it out, we're like, oh, what's this?
Right.
Like it's news. And so she confronts Cabral, and there's a line I know you wanted to address. Let's just do that now.
Yeah. So this is a scene after Joy has snuck Cabral up into her room.
We're gonna call him Cabral the whole time. Just get used to that.
We are where they are making out and starting to undress. Cut immediately to Joy telling Cabral she's just not in the mood. He leaves and finds Mika, Violet. Okay, we'll call her Violet.
It's gonna get a little bit
Get too confusing. Yeah. Just waiting for him, like sitting on a piano bench, dressed in her full like leather bustier and everything, because she had just said that she just got back from work. She pulled the late shift, and he goes, "So where do you work?" And she says, "Denny's in Hollywood." And it's a very, very funny delivery of her just saying Denny's, and then he's just like, "Huh, I never eat there."
Yeah, he is receptive to the idea that they might dress like they do sex at Denny's.
Right. Well, he believes it. I have a clip I pulled from later that we're going to play on the show.
What the fuck is up, Denny's? Like, that's just doing anything at Denny's. Like, okay, I'm gonna speed this up significantly here.
Yeah, speed it up.
But I just wanted to sort of set this because she does that, and then she gives him top.
She does.
Yeah. And then
for a long time compared to the rated version. We watched the unrated version, we should say that.
Yeah, and then Violet essentially decides, I know what I'll do to get back at Joy for some reason, for living in a house.
Right.
I will ruin her entire life and family.
Yes.
Because she got wealth and privilege and opportunities and I didn't, and I'm going to get recompense via sex crime. Including, but not limited to, spiking drinks and gaslighting somebody into thinking you had lesbian sex with them.
Right. Yeah, that happens.
Tricking Cabral, the former drug addict, into doing cocaine again to make him lose status in the eyes of Joy's father.
Right.
Ruining all of her tennis training so she does bad at the tennis tournament.
Yeah.
Hooking up with her dad and then stealing his heart attack medication so when he later has a heart attack and can't leave the house, he ends up getting suffocated to death with the exhaust fumes of a car.
Right, because she turns the car on when he passes out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not just getting Cabral hooked on drugs again, but then
drugging him to death.
Drugging him to death.
Also killing the housekeeper at some point.
Killing the nosy housekeeper, yeah.
And staging a tea party for Violet and Joy, where at the end of which they will consume poison for suicide purposes.
Right. And
which then turns into falling down the stairs so hard you die.
Yes. Yeah, that's about it. It should be noted that all of all of Violet's plans, all of the ways she's able to accomplish this shit is purely by luck and happenstance, and she never covers her ass, and it's just all very, very poorly planned, and somehow most of it works anyway.
Yeah, it's not, I wouldn't even necessarily say it was planned. It all happens.
So this is the thing I was starting to say before we realized we had 6 other things to do before we actually get into this movie, is that like this movie doesn't feel so much to me like the sex is added in to pad the runtime. It feels more like the story was added in to pad the runtime a little bit. And like that's not to say there's not a lot of it, but like the plot isn't cohesive or thought through at all.
She is vindictive towards this family because she didn't get to live there anymore, and then they continued to have success and privilege, and she thinks that's unfair, so she's going to destroy everyone's life.
Right.
And also fuck your dad.
I'm just saying, like, mechanically.
And also literally fuck your dad.
The plot doesn't run.
No, it's not great.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like, the intent of this one versus the original and perhaps the sequel, which I'm not very familiar with, those had, I think, more plot importance than this one does. This one was like, we need the bare minimum of a plot so that we can make a sexy straight-to-video movie. Right.
Yeah, and Poison Ivy 2 is like a what if you started hooking up with like professors and stuff kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then like you get jealous that he also has a family. So now you feel
Right.
like vindictive towards the family. Like that's kind of the thrust of that one.
Yeah, and that one was very much like, and you know, you be careful how I use this term. I'm using this term in the way it is actually meant to apply, where like the professor sort of did groom her into those situations by like selecting her for nude modeling and complimenting her work and everything.
Yeah, it was a two-way street
and
for sure.
then took advantage of her, and she reacted to that. That's the way I remember it anyway. Again, I'm not super clear on it. Right. This one is just like, nah, we're just going to put Jamie Presley in here and she's going to fucking murder everybody.
Yeah. And also,
Yeah.
like, the dad will not hesitate for a single second.
No. No.
You look like your mom, and that's fucking awesome. Is like his entire
Yeah.
perspective on the matter.
Yeah. You look like your mom, but not actually really at all.
No, not
is
even,
the other
not even sort of. I don't know if maybe she
Yeah.
means that it looks like Joy's mom. But that wouldn't really make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah. That whole thing's weird. Let's go over to the Neil Nook real quick and then we can just run through this bad boy. I'll do it fast.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Neil Nook. Thanks, Gucci.
All right. Stretch. This is going to be a long one.
It doesn't have to be.
It's not really going to be a long one.
We know who
'Cause
Jamie
there's only,
Presley
like,
and Cabral are already, so
There's mostly 5 people in this movie, right?
yeah.
So
5 relevant people.
I guess, yeah, we're just going to run through. Hold on.
I'm holding
There we
on.
are. All right. The reasons this is related to Mortal Kombat shit that we've talked about on the show. We hit 2 already, right? Jamie Presley as Violet. Greg Vaughn, a.k.a. Cabral, is Michael. The dad, Ivan Greer, is Michael DeBars. Do you remember that name?
No.
Michael DeBars is the musician who wrote that song Obsession, who voices Shao Kahn in Defenders of the Realm.
Oh.
Oh, he also voiced Kano and someone called Captain in 3 episodes of Mortal Kombat Defenders of the Realm. That's the dad in this. And we have a bonus credit too. This isn't Mortal Kombat related, but Joy's friend Jamie, the one who, her tennis partner who got drunk with her and then wound up in the bed handcuffed with Jamie Presley,
Right.
is played by Shanna Mokler from Pacific Blue.
There's always one.
I think the things Shanna Mokler are most known for is Pacific Blue and being married to Travis Barker. So yeah, so this is, I mean, like, we could argue that this is just alternate reality Mortal Kombat Conquest right here, right?
You could argue that.
I'm not gonna, though.
It's a worse show.
Let's throw some other names out there. Joy is played by Megan Edwards, and the housekeeper, where are you, Mrs. B, is played by Susan Tyrell, who has had a very long, interesting career.
Yeah.
There's something on here I had to find that I thought was amazing. She does a lot of voiceover. She did voices in a couple of Ralph Bakshi movies, like she's the narrator in Wizards, and she also voices a character in Fire and Ice, 2 of my favorites of his milieu, if you will. And she also did a voice in Extreme Ghostbusters, which is going to matter to some people. That's kind of it for principal cast, right? There's just like the 5 of them for the most part.
Yeah.
So I think we're out of the Neil Nook now. Let's just really dive into this thing and go fucking scene by scene.
Do we have to?
No, we don't. I want to give people a sense of, because here's the thing. I'm going to say, I don't think this is the worst movie ever made. It's a movie that set out to do one very specific thing and then did it. But it's not a good movie, and I don't think people need to go rush out and watch this, right? This is not as bad as Death to the Supermodels, but it's also just like, honestly, probably not worth your time.
It's not.
Yeah.
This is a movie that doesn't know why it exists other than to be a movie with a partial title that people have heard of.
Right.
I don't think anyone is doing particularly good work here. The movie doesn't even clarify what the main character's goals are. Like, we don't know
Right.
why she's doing this at all. We don't actually know. Like, it doesn't
we
say.
don't.
You can assume, and maybe you're right, but
yeah.
it's just sort of like a non-starter. It's just
it's kind of incompetent.
yeah.
I guess maybe we should give a shout out to the director and writer, right? I don't know if we should or not. The movie was directed by a man named Kurt Voss, which is like the kind of name you hear where you're like, I've heard of that guy. But I don't know that anybody actually has. Aside from this, he made some movie called Down and Out with the Dolls and Sugartown. And this movie was written by Karen Kelly, who wrote like a number of things that seem to be along the same lines as this, including Body Chemistry 4, Full Exposure.
What are we doing?
Illicit Dreams. And here's one for They Made Another One, Corey.
Is it one of the Wild Things sequels?
No, it is The Skateboard Kid 2.
I've heard of that movie, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is the writer of that. She's also briefly an actress. She was an actress in General Hospital in one episode and in the movie Hard Bodies.
How the fuck are there 4 Poison Ivy movies and 4 Wild Things movies?
Yeah, I don't know. Because like the only thing I can think of is like this was like the boom, like the video store boom, right? And the cable boom. So there were a lot of stuff going into production, sequels just meant to go straight to video and straight to cable, because it must have been profitable somehow, you know, especially like when you're making sequels to movies that people like with recognizable names, which I guess Poison Ivy was one of at the time, maybe once Drew Barrymore's career started to blow up, especially, right? So like, I think it is just like cash grabs. And then I think a lot of those things, a lot of these kinds of things, I think it's the same reason that we had like 3 direct-to-video American Pie movies, right? Like they're really trying to target people who just want to see naughty stuff before it was just so easy to do that on the internet.
Right. I feel compelled to be upfront with you an hour into this recording.
Yeah, please.
Which is the perfect time to be upfront with anybody, is when you're already deeply committed to doing something.
Yeah, you didn't watch the movie, did you?
No, oh, that would have been so funny. Fuck. Why didn't I do that? How long do you think I could have made it just sort of winging it?
You're like, I didn't watch this fucking movie.
Dude,
that
would have been... Would you have been mad?
No.
Fuck. You would have been a little mad, I think, based on how you said that. But
no, I really wouldn't. I would have been thrown off by it. I would have thought it was real fucking funny.
Shit.
I mean, I didn't finish watching Death to the Supermodels, but you knew about that, right?
Yeah. I did watch the movie. But when I tell you now that I have basically nothing to say, I mean it completely. I didn't want to watch this movie. I had vetoed it for a time and then was ultimately won over into doing it anyway. And then I didn't want to do it now, and then you rightfully argued that it would make more sense to do it now than any other time.
All right, settle down.
No. That's what happened. That is what happened.
It is.
I am not blaming anything on anybody. That is what happened. And so I watched...
I know. I just want to explain that situation a little bit.
No, I don't even think what I just said makes you sound bad.
Because if you had still said like, no, I'd rather not do it now, I would have agreed. But like my point was like, I think there's something funny about doing the 3 of these Jamie Presley movies starring Mortal Kombat actors all in a row and just getting it done with, right? Like that was literally my argument, and that was enough for you to agree. I didn't have to like twist your arm.
No, I know. I don't even think that's what that sounded like, and I don't think anyone would have thought much of it if that even was what it sounded like.
Okay,
but
all right.
All of that to say, I watched this because I had to, which is the approach I take a lot, and like obviously TMAO revolves a lot around that, and like the whole point is like, well, you're gonna have to do that with some stuff that you're not enthusiastic about, and then you gotta figure it out anyway. And look, that's a great concept. I do that all the time.
Sure.
But yeah, I got nothing. So I'm gonna try to do something about that because we're doing a podcast about it. But fuck, dude.
A little bit what I want to do with this is take this movie to task. Again, I don't think anybody should watch this. And like this is on me. I didn't investigate the trivia around this movie.
Okay.
Prior to us prior to right now.
Is there a
I'm gonna
lot
say.
of? Is there
There's
much
not
to
a lot.
discuss?
There are two very important things that I do think should be discussed about this movie, because I have stressed that there's a lot of sexual content in this. Not as much as some things, like I don't think this verges into like full on pornography, right?
It
but
doesn't.
This is definitely
It's
this is late night Skinamax for sure.
It's
right?
it's
Like,
out
this is-
there. It's like softcore, but like it's the upper limit of that descriptor.
It's the upper. It's a little
There is a
beyond
point
like
where-
a Red Shoe Diaries.
Really quick, there's a point where this is right at the beginning of the movie, and this made me laugh almost immediately to the movie's credit. They go
Right.
hook up in the other room, the pool boy and the housekeeper. She is like
Okay.
fully riding that dude. Sorry, but that's just what's happening. I need to set the scene. But they have the shot perfectly framed to show the door and them on the other side. I'm like, somebody's opening that door. And then the dad comes up. It's like they were teeing up a jump scare, and then the dad. And I was like, that wouldn't be in the background if somebody wasn't walking through that door.
Yeah.
And then that's well, if that just isn't exactly what happens, and that's so funny. It's just so
Yeah.
funny.
Some of it is also just kind of like silly. Like there's this weird thing they do where they have Jamie Presley like swim through a pool naked twice, right?
Yeah, just to have her not have clothes on.
Just to have her not have clothes on, and that's the kind of thing like you would expect. Maybe that would be the nude scene for a movie like something like that, right? I think there's a very similar scene in The Crush, for instance.
Is that a surfing movie?
No, it's a movie about Clueless. What's her name?
Cher.
I said it earlier.
The actor's name? Oh.
Yeah.
I'm so stupid.
Alicia Silverstone is too young and is seducing a writer who's renting like played by Princess Bride guy who's like living in the
Carrie
in the
Elways?
pool house. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it was another '90s movie. Came out probably around this time, honestly. Anyway, like there's something like extremely problematic about those Lolita style movies in the first place.
It's
right?
problematic, but I only think that's an issue if the movie also has nothing to say.
Yeah.
Like there is a thoughtful way to do this.
Yeah.
Like there is a way to make this movie and it's like interesting and has a point, and therefore you go, well, at least we're doing something interesting and making some sort of point.
This movie doesn't have that though.
This movie doesn't have that. This movie doesn't even know why we're doing this.
So anyway, let me just touch on this. They do this thing twice where she swims like naked or topless in the pool, and both times, like the first time the dad like catches her, like looks out the window and sees her, and she knows he can see her, and like that's the whole point. And then the second time is when Greg Vaughn is like asleep or like hanging out by the pool, waiting for Joy to wake up from her hangover or whatever the fuck, and she does it again.
Yeah.
And both times it plays this music that sounds like this. The fucking music sounds like an army march a little bit, like the drums, like dun da 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 dun da 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 dun da 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 dun, and it's just like the most bizarre music choice for those scenes, and they do it in both of
So
them.
there's another very funny music cue. I'm just gonna read this note to you verbatim because you'll understand.
Sure.
The music when she gets home from putting on the leather outfit and everyone is hooking up already, by which I mean Cabral and Joy have already snuck in and are hooking up, and then she comes in and is like coming up the stairs. The music sounds exactly like in Zelda when you do something right in a dungeon and like a door opens. It does that. It does that.
That's when she gets her best ideas on how to fuck everything up for everybody.
Yeah, and it's like I don't know. It's hilarious, but like
I want to take this movie to task for a couple things. I'm going to read three trivia intros, honestly. In an interview, Jamie Presley said that the original script she read had only 2 nude scenes, but after seeing her naked on set, the producers were so impressed with her body that they requested several more scenes be written into the movie.
Yo, are you out of your fucking mind?
That's fucking insane, okay?
That is gross. Yo, we didn't know you were hot. Do you want to keep getting naked? 20-year-old actress who didn't sign up for this?
that leads into the next one where Jamie Presley has stated in interviews that she was a bit unsure of her rights as an actress when she made this film
Oh my god.
and did not realize she could have said no to the movie's nude scenes, but wished she had. She never appeared nude on screen again, but did pose fully nude in Playboy in March 1998 and February 2004.
So
you know,
she didn't want to do any of that. And now this is the part where you would get people who think they're extremely smart saying, "Why did you do the Poison Ivy movie then?" But it's like
Right.
she read a script, right?
She read a script.
And committed to making that thing.
Right.
And then what they did instead was take advantage of a young, vulnerable person by insisting that she do it way more than she agreed to.
Yeah.
And intentionally, no one gave her the information to say, you don't have to do that.
You don't have, yeah.
And it's in service of, again, a movie that doesn't even state what the goal
Right.
of the character even is.
Yes.
So that's fucking sick. It really does just make you wonder, like, what the fuck are we doing here?
Like
a little bit, like
right. And like there is okay, so she read the script and there's 2 nude scenes. I'm going to guess it was maybe the first pool scene and then maybe the bath scene, and that was it, right? So then for them to add in like these long, because the other like sex scenes that she does engage in, like the one where she's, going down on Cabral, like she's clothed, right? There's some other scenes like that where she's clothed, like she has clothing on, There's only like one, I think, sex scene, maybe 2, where she's like actually shown naked. One of them, the hilarious fucking scene when she finally does seduce the dad, and then Joy walks in and he's tied to the bed and she's like whipping him with her crop.
Uh-huh.
That was just fucking, I was like, this took a wild left turn, because like,
well, and it's also just like it's interesting seeing a movie where you go like, none of these actors feel like I don't buy that any of these people would be doing this.
right. Yeah. And that
Like none of them are like owning it. And I don't know if there's like a better word to communicate what I mean, but it's like it doesn't feel
yeah.
super believable.
No, that scene just like seemed like so, it was so fucking funny to see, because like in the rest of the context of her like seduction of this guy, she's not implying to him like, I'm going to strap you to the bed and whip you with my crop and you're going to be into that, It's just like, just takes it to this like extreme absurd level in the way something like a Not Another Teen Movie would have.
Right.
I don't know if I'm expressing that correctly, but it was just like it was just in there like completely for shock value, I guess is my point.
Yeah. And I also just think that the movie doesn't do enough legwork, like to actually, like we're assuming that the reason that she feels so jaded towards these people is like missing out on what would have been major life opportunities through the decisions of other people,
right?
That have nothing to do with her at all. And it really would have like done the movie a service if it attempted to communicate that at all. And I know that it's like a show don't tell kind of medium, but at a certain point,
tell us something.
You do have to tell me something.
Right. The only thing she says is like, to the dad in particular, to Shao Kahn, is like, you promised my mom that you were going to take care of us, and when she was working here, and then you just kicked her out, and our life has been terrible as a result of that, Like, he's not a good guy, let's be clear, but yeah, that's the only real explanation you get. You don't get anything like, we don't know the story, of like what actually happened that led her to,
which is crazy because that's what the movie's about.
Right.
So
Yeah.
like that's kind of wild. And it just doesn't feel like it is anything thoughtful to think, never mind say, about like, okay, she does like dominatrix stuff, I guess. Like,
right.
Why?
Yeah. Yeah.
What
maybe because
drew her to that?
Clearly because the directors
Is it just because you
told her
needed a
to.
sexually promiscuous movie?
Yeah.
Like,
right.
because again, I could maybe assume that part of that would be like, oh, like that was a situation in which she had no power and everybody around her did. So now she's like, oh, I'm seeking out situations where I get to have all the power. That might be true, but I made that up.
Yeah, the
movie doesn't communicate that at all.
And I guarantee the writers and the filmmakers and they didn't have that thought either.
Which is just crazy because they're making a movie.
Sure, but this is a movie where they added a bunch of sex scenes in because they just wanted their lead actress to be naked on screen more, right? That shows that there was no real thought put into any of this at all. And it's like just an extremely gratuitous movie for the sake of being gratuitous and exploitative, you know? And that's it. Like, that's all there is to it, right? Like, having those scenes added in didn't add anything to the plot. There wasn't any plot to begin with, which is really weird. And it's just, the whole thing is just kind of incompetent and honestly kind of shitty.
Yeah.
It's not a good movie. And it's not a movie that anybody needs to watch, honestly. Like, even if you're like someone out there who's just looking for some titillation, like there are infinitely better ways to seek something like that out.
The internet is so vast.
Than in this, watching this movie, even if you're fast forwarding through it, honestly. Just don't fucking bother. I want to throw to this clip that I sent you here that I titled Cabral versus Mika.
I don't know what this is.
Corey, this is the scene where I can't pull Greg Vaughn. There we go. Where Jamie Presley, where Violet is sort of walking down the street in her dominatrix gear, and he's like put everything together about the whole situation, all of these things she's been doing to set everyone up. And I just want to, this isn't so much for us to comment on. This is just for the audience who hasn't seen this movie to get a sense of the acting that is happening.
Okay.
Because I want just people to hear like the dramatic turn of this movie as it actually happens. So 3, 2, 1, play.
I got a call from Greer's office telling me not to report to my job on Monday because they found another intern. You set me up, you got me high, and you seduced me.
If that's what you need to believe so you can live with yourself, it's okay with me.
You're setting them up just like you set me up.
They're my family. I would never do anything to hurt
They're
them.
not your family. Your family's dead. Yeah, that's right. I did a little checking. That junior collar's never even heard of you. Then I find out your sister Ivy threw herself out of a window.
Shut up.
And let's not forget about what happened to your mother.
I said shut up.
I bet you don't even work at Denny's, do you?
That's a great line. It's hard to argue with that. That's just a really fun. That's a funny line.
So
I'm gonna tell Joy what kind of a person she's really living with.
So you're gonna tell her you're fucking me?
I'm gonna tell her the truth.
Oh, that'll be an interesting approach for you. Think she'll buy it?
I don't think it's gonna be too hard to convince her. Look, I'm gonna be meeting her at 2 o'clock. So that'll still give you enough time to get out.
Well, she won't be there. She never planned to meet you.
You're such a liar.
Really? Then why did she tell your good buddy Scott to pick her up at the house at 1:30?
And he's just gonna believe that for some reason.
right.
Fuck you.
Did the guy from Raven do this music?
I don't think so. I should check, actually.
You're gonna be so sorry.
That's it. That is
Holy fuck, dude.
that's
It's not great.
it's pretty fucking rough, isn't it?
It's not great. I think the problem is they're both like actively going for a different thing.
Yeah.
Like, cause she's like trying to be like the sultry, but little old me, I don't know what's going on. And then he's just like, I learned to read yesterday.
Yeah. He's like, he's just,
He sounds like he's not convinced he's gonna remember his lines.
he's exposition dumping also. Like, that's it, all he's doing, right? Is I figured it out. You did this and this and this. And I'm going to tell you exactly what I'm going to do now so that you can figure out how to get in the way and stop it and essentially kill me.
Yeah,
by
it doesn't
making
like
me
why
overdose.
would he do that?
Yeah, that's the quality of writing and acting in this movie. So it ain't worth seeking out, everybody. Just don't. Honestly, just don't.
He does better work on Conquest.
He does better work on Conquest. And I Greg, I'm not taking shots at Greg Vaughn. This is an early role for him. And like everyone involved in this project is only going to be as good as the material they're given. And everyone was given just shit material.
Yeah.
It's just an incompetent movie. Do you want to hear an IMDb review?
Sure.
A featured IMDb review. The title is Yes! !
Oh, Oh my god.
God-awful movie? You think? No. Godzilla was a god-awful movie because it tried to be good.
Like the Roland Emmerich Godzilla
Yes,
movie?
yeah. Poison Ivy 3 was not trying to be good in the sense of acting or a plot or anything other than what it should be. A vehicle for Jamie Presley's backside, front side, and side side. Wonderful. I love it.
Should be, huh? That's the word he went with? That's interesting. Do you want to hear really quick the opening line of a Letterboxd review?
Let me give you one more line from this one.
Yeah, great.
There should be a Poison Ivy 3 channel that shows it all the time over and over again and over again.
God, do these people know that the internet's real? I've got one here. This is from a Letterboxd user. I'm actually going to do the whole... I'm not going to do that whole paragraph, actually. I'm just going to do this sentence.
Yeah.
First of all, Jamie Presley was like uncomfortably bonersome. Tracy Lords level hot. Yeah, dude. It like actually says that.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Also, this whole review
Tracy
features a paragraph about the other movies, but yeah, Tracy Lords level hot.
God damn it. Ugh. Fuck.
Yeah, so I don't know what this person's deal is with using the phrase uncomfortably bonersome.
I didn't want it, but it happened anyway.
Yeah.
Hold on a second.
Yeah. Also, this person pays for Letterboxd, which I just think is fucking hilarious. This person is followed by 2 people I know.
Oh no. Friends of yours?
One of them.
Is this Letterboxd review written by Kurt Voss, director of Poison Ivy: The New Seduction?
We can't roll that out.
Yeah.
Rule that out. It was I don't know why I said that like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know why that person chose to write that way, but
Yeah. I just want to say, like, again, in response to these reviews, like, it's written in the trivia. Jamie Presley has said in interviews, she's like, yeah, I didn't really know what I was getting into, and if I had to do this again, I wouldn't, right? Like,
right.
Clearly this is a situation where she did not want to be put in the position that she was been put in, and, like, I respect her decision. She's like, I'm not doing anything like this ever again, right?
Yeah.
And she hasn't. She's had a very, very strong career.
And as far as I know, there's 0 nudity in My Name is Earl.
But she's a really talented actor. She's got like great comedy chops too. I mean, like, you know, she was a highlight of the Dead or Alive movie. And like, there's a reason she gets cast on like 90 something episodes of My Name is Earl and 127 episodes of Mom. Like, you know, she was great in Not Another Teen Movie. She's a good actor. And I'm glad that she like pushed out of that box and, you know, stood up for herself and said, I'm not doing things like this anymore. And I'm honestly like a fan of her work from those other projects. And like when she popped up in Conquest, I didn't know she was in that until I watched it. And I was like, hey, cool. I like her. She's funny in a lot of things, you know, like.
Right.
So like, I'm personally glad that she got out of this sort of pigeonhole. Like because like you could very clearly see that she might have just, I mean, you know, Alyssa Milano had a run where she was doing like, she did that vampire movie after Poison Ivy. Like she had a series where she was just sort of put in those kinds of, you know, erotic late night movies. And maybe that's not where she saw her career going, you know?
Right.
But it was like a bad time in Hollywood where those were the roles, you know? I don't know. I'm just glad Jamie Presley overcame this garbage and like told the story about, you know, what her experience was like. I don't know if there's anything else I really need to hit on, except that like the one thing that bugged me was how often her plans to like fuck everybody over were determined by her just happening to answer a phone call at the right time. And then like how incompetent she was about getting caught because like her plan was to like not deliver phone messages, but then those people would just get the messages from the people anyway. Or like forgetting that Greg Vaughn left his jacket on the counter so Joy finds it later. Just like stupid shit like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
That just like makes you think like nobody had a plan for this movie. And it's bad and don't watch it.
Yeah.
It's not bad in the same way as Death to the Supermodels, right? Where that one was like painful. This one is just not worth your time.
What the fuck is up, Denny's?
Do like literally anything else.
Go watch that video. It's not even that long.
Yeah, watch it several times. You'll have a better time.
Sure.
Yeah. Go out into the wild and search for like Coca-Cola Creations Plus XP Ultimate Edition.
And this does end our Jamie Presley mini series.
This does, yeah. That is 3 in a row. The hat trick, they call it, right?
They do call it that.
Let's rank them real quick. Which was the best one?
Oh my god.
If you had to
I mean,
rank the
DOA
3
was the best one.
from like best to worst.
DOA.
Uh-huh.
Oh fuck. Can these both be last?
This is tricky, right?
I mean, you can't. You genuinely can't argue that Death of the Supermodels is a better movie.
No, you can't. It's just
not possible to do that. So we won't be doing that.
Okay.
But
But that doesn't mean that this one's a good movie, right?
no, not at all. There's a pretty big gap between
There's a
DOA and
huge
these.
gap. Yeah, a huge gap.
Yeah.
You do get to see Greg Vaughn's ass, though. I'm pretty sure you're not seeing that on General Hospital or whatever soap opera he's on. So that's something.
Please, General Hospital was my father's name.
I'm Lieutenant Hospital.
Call me Clinic.
I'm Lieutenant Clinic. You wanna
I'm Inspector Clinic.
We're
I
out
don't
of. Yeah, we're done. Are we done? I think we're fucking done. It's pretty clear. We've been done for like 10 minutes. Right?
Yeah.
Corey, I appreciate you sitting through this thing.
Yeah, I mean,
know.
that's I do it for the love of the game.
On our next show.
Do you
our
believe
new-
me when I say that?
Well, this is the thing. On our new podcast, Corey, we're, we're never going to have to do that. Right?
I mean, unless you want to get up to some shit. unless you want to fuck with me, in which case we could do nothing but this.
No, but I don't want to do that, man. Like, it was like this run of like having to watch shit that we're like, kind of over this. Not really. This wasn't worth my time. All the Defenders of the Realm shit and everything. We're like, this feels like a commitment and a hassle. Like, it's always fun to talk to you, right? It's always fun to do this part of the show. But
Right.
like next podcast, we're just going to watch stuff either one or both of us likes, and that's it. And there is nothing on my list along the lines of Poison Ivy 3, just so you know.
My list is nothing but that, but
Okay, well,
maybe I misunderstood what our goals were.
let's talk off the air. So we haven't announced the new show yet. We're just teasing out little bits of information to people.
The Poison Ivy cast.
On the next episode, we should probably do something Mortal Kombat related, right?
Yeah.
Like something
We're
with,
just going to do Federation of Martial Arts again.
something with Mortal Kombat in the title. We'll figure it out.
We don't have many candidates left to do that with.
Yeah. I think on a recent episode, maybe on our Conquest thing, I said I had like 18 things on the list. I want people to know that I've pared that list way down. Okay. And we ran through 4 of those things recently with the Sabrina and now this run. So
Final hours.
getting real close to the end here. I got to mail you that book. Corey, what do you got going on otherwise?
You can go listen to an episode of They Made Another One that was recorded 4 years ago if you want.
Holy smokes.
Because we could not record this week, so...
Weirdly, it's also an episode about Poison Ivy 3, the new Seduction.
Yeah, I've now seen this movie 14 times, because 12 of those were just for me. And then the other ones were for various podcasts. If you go to mortalkombatconquest.ca, all the info about They Made Another One is there, as well as all the info for Strat 2, which is the F1 podcast I do rarely at this point, because scheduling is a challenge. And... yeah, just go to the website, honestly.
Mortal Kombat
Let's
Conquest.
simplify this process here.
MortalKombatConquest.ca, which is up for renewal.
Yeah, if somebody wants to scoop us on that, I guess now's your
No,
time.
I got auto renew set up. We're not letting that go. Happy birthday again.
2 months from now.
And I have a DVD 3-pack of all 3 of the first 3 Poison Ivy
Of Poison
movies.
Ivy, DOA, and Death of the Supermodels. Did they sell that one ever?
No, I don't think so. All right, this is what I'm going to do because I want these things gone, honestly. If you want my DVD copies of Death to the Supermodels and Poison Ivy 1 through 3, things I bought very inexpensively for this podcast, email us, theboys@mkpodquest.com. First person in the continental United States, because I just got to say, I'm going to ship it to you for free, but you got to email us, theboys@mkpodquest.com, and live in the continental United States, so I'm not like spending a fortune. And,
Fuck you, Hawaii.
and I will send those to you media mail.
What does that mean?
I think that's the cheapest way to send media. So if you want those, come get them.
I think media mail is the cheapest way to mail media.
And you can check out my alien show, Crew Expendable, at crewexpendable.net. I'm on Instagram at Final Neil Retro. The show's on Twitter and Instagram at MK Podquest. Subscribe to MK Podquest in your podcast apps. Rate us and review us 5 stars. Let's take this show out with a bang. Get us to the top of the fucking charts, people. I'm still getting the YouTube channel updated, I swear. I just put up the final commentary like hours ago, so I'll get the rest of them up there too, I promise. But for now, I just want to go take a nap.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah. And as always, I don't think you really work at Denny's.